The Chaos Insurgency. The Chaos Insurgency is basically a group of silly little fellas who decided the best way to improve humanity was by stealing world-ending artifacts and seeing what happens. If you still haven't figured out what happened, I'll tell you. Spoiler alert, it's in the name. Here's the tea. Back in 1924, the Foundation created their most loyal Black Ops team, MTF Alpha 1, aka the Red Right Hand. These guys did the usual Foundation errands like assassinations, cover-ups, war crimes, nothing too crazy. For 24 years, they were ride or die. Then in 1948, during what should have been a routine fake defection mission, they just didn't come back. They went feral, stole major SCPs like Abel, who's literally a 10,000-year-old grandpa who respawns when you kill him, then kidnapped researchers and ghosted the council who runs the Foundation entirely. The question is, are they really that competent? Short answer, nope. Long answer, no. But they're competent enough to be a massive problem. You see, the insurgency's goals are to 1. Take over the world, and 2. Fuck with the Foundation for no other reason than shits and giggles. They claim they want to liberate humanity from constructed reality, using anomalies to build some kind of utopia. Or so they tell their recruits. In reality, most operatives have no idea what they're doing or why. They're just following orders from Delta Command and something called the Engineer, which may or may not be a sentient car engine whispering forbidden knowledge. But honestly, I'm less concerned about their goals and more concerned over where the heck they got their funds from. 'Cause there's no damn way they randomly have the money to pull off global operations, buy high-tech weapons, and steal world-ending SCPs with like $5. Survival chance, 80%. Just don't work for the Foundation. The Global Occult Coalition. The GOC is basically the UN-backed military cousin of the Foundation that sees an anomaly and immediately asks, how fast can we nuke this thing? Their entire strategy is shoot first, don't ask questions, then shoot again just to be sure. Founded in 1945, the GOC consists of 108 member organizations from around the world. Think of them as the world's paranormal police force. If the police were allowed to execute suspects on sight without a trial, they call themselves protectors of humanity. The Foundation calls them reckless. Honestly, they're both kind of right. While the Foundation contains anomalies, the GOC destroys them, like every single one. Doesn't matter if it's a reality-ending monster or a random teleporting chair, they're all cooked. And I'm serious about the chair, who's also known as SCP-1609. Obviously, this chair was a massive threat because it teleported to people who needed to sit. Absolutely terrifying. Can you imagine? So naturally, the GOC saw it and said, that's disgusting. Kill it. Then proceeded to put it through a wood chipper. Now it's a hostile swarm of splinters that teleports inside people's lungs. So, problem solved, I guess. Their mission statement literally goes, survival, concealment, protection, destruction, education. In that order. Notice how destroy everything comes before maybe learn about it first? But despite their unhinged energy, they're not stupid, unless they're trying to destroy a chair, I guess. Other than that, they have cutting-edge tech, trained operatives, and legitimate authority. Hell, they've even allied with the Foundation when facing bigger threats like, I don't know, non-subscribers. Survival chance, 60%. Just don't be anomalous, or near anomalies, or shaped like a chair. Marshall, Carter, and Dark, Limited. Ever wondered what it would be like to drink wine made from actual human blood? Me neither. But if you want to find out, just ask Marshall, Carter, and Dark. Because if you're buying, they're selling. You see, MC&D is basically a luxury shopping club for the ultra-filthy rich. Except instead of selling yachts and jewelry, they're auctioning off SCPs. They've been around for centuries, catering exclusively to billionaires, CEOs, and royalty, who got bored with normal wealth and decided random anomalies were the next logical purchase. Which makes sense, because who wants to own 3 private islands anyways? Like owning a dude whose bones are shoes is much more entertaining, obviously. But here's where it gets horrifying. They don't just sell objects. They sell experiences. Want a servant with bone-high heels? They got it. Horse that won't cheat on its spouse? Aisle 2. Torture watch that extends your bones, then rewinds the damage? Hope you brought your credit card. They treat human suffering like a product line, and their customers eat it up. So someone really said, eat the rich, and the rich said, nah, rich the eat. Wait, I mean the rich eat. Or whatever, you get it. And what's worse is that they're completely untouchable. MC&D operates through bribes, blackmail, and political connections. They've even bought off Foundation employees, caused containment breaches, and leaked classified info, all without getting their hands dirty. So basically, No one can stop them because they're simply too rich, too connected, and too legally protected. Hell, MC&D could destroy the entire world if they wanted. Bankrupt countries? Easy. Start wars. One phone call. Collapse governments? Done by lunch. But luckily they won't, because apocalypses are terrible for quarterly earnings, obviously. Survival chance. 90% if you're broke. 15% if you're rich enough to get their business card. The Church of the Broken God. The Church of the Broken God is basically a group of vegetarians, except instead of avoiding meat, they're avoiding being meat. On God, they really looked at humanity and said, you know what? Too much flesh, not enough metal. And if you think the most dangerous thing a group of veggies can do is complain about protein, you're dead wrong. Because are they dangerous? Absolutely. Are they right? Depends on whether you think becoming a toaster is salvation. You see, their god is Makan, a massive deity who got shattered in an ancient battle with Yaldabaoth, the flesh god worshipped by the Sarkic cults. Makan basically said, understandable, have a great day, then broke itself apart to imprison Yaldabaoth and just dipped. Now the church's entire mission is to find every piece and rebuild their god, which would be inspiring if it didn't also mean potentially releasing Yaldabaoth in the process. Anyway, there are 3 different approaches to their faith. The broken church is kind of moderate. They just want to collect god pieces, rebuild God, and hope for the best. The Cogwork Orthodox Church? Not so chill. They worship Industrial Revolution era tech, believe mass production is literal prayer, and replace their body parts with gears and steam engines. The more metal you have, the holier you are. So if you're built like a fridge, you're basically the next Robo-Jesus. Then there's the Church of Maxwellism, the tech bro branch. They're the chill ones. They think rebuilding McCain means linking everyone's minds into a giant computer network. Don't ask me why that works, because I don't know. What I do know is that they call their god Wan. Yes, like Wi-Fi. Survival chance 30%. Higher if you have a metal knee. Sarkic cults. Where the Church of the Broken God thinks salami is disgusting, Sarkics think it's the ultimate power. And honestly, their obsession isn't exactly skin deep. Sarkicism was founded by Grand Karcist Ion, a slave who learned flesh magic from that meat guy Yaldabaoth. Ion led a massive slave revolt by mutating people into monsters, overthrew his masters, and built an empire where people practiced basic stuff like flesh manipulation, human sacrifice, and cannibalism. Then, the Church of the Broken God squared up, and the 2 groups fought a war so brutal it killed 20 to 30 million people. Call it beef if you want. The Sarkics certainly did. Anyway, today there are 2 main branches. Proto-Sarkics live in rural, isolated villages like Russia, Romania, Finland. They're poor, humble, and do flesh magic while broke. So when they say, we've got McDonald's at home, they're probably not talking about hamburgers. They see Ion as a messiah and believe in sacrificing themselves for the greater good, which is ironic considering they're literally rearranging people's internal organs. The other branch is the total opposite. They're the Neo-Sarkics, which is society's elite like CEOs, politicians, and oligarchs. They do flesh magic while dripping in designer labels and generational wealth. Wealthy, powerful, and ruthless, they believe in sacrificing others for their own gain. What they have in common, however, is that both want humanity to ascend into godhood through flesh manipulation. One side's humble, the other's absolutely not. Either way, when it comes to flesh, they've got it covered. Survival chance, 20%. Lower if you look squishy. The Daevites. The Daevites are basically a bunch of dead people from an ancient civilization. The problem is, nobody told them to stay dead. So now they're slowly rewriting themselves back into existence, inching closer to our time with every drop of blood. You see, everything we know about them comes from SCP-140, a cursed book called A Chronicle of the Daevas. But with the book comes a little surprise. If any liquid touches the book, like, for example, blood, new chapters magically appear. And when they do, reality changes retroactively. So now, the Daevites didn't just exist in the past. They now always existed, with new artifacts and ruins suddenly appearing in dig sites that archaeologists already excavated years ago. The Daevites were an empire run entirely by women, centered in what's now Mongolia. But before you start saying, hear me out, they ruled a massive slave empire that practiced human sacrifice, blood magic, and ancestor worship. So let me say it again. Hear me out. Don't be fooled by their appearance, though. I know they look like that one innocent vampire dude, but they're actually way more dangerous. You see, the Daevites fought everyone. Ancient China, invaded. The Mechanites better have balls of steel. And the Sarkics got the beef they wanted for real. And if the book reaches modern day, reality collapses and they'll probably come back for some more beef. But honestly, this could all be solved by just ripping out some pages. Just saying. Survival chance 60%. Just rip out the pages, it's that easy. Dr. Wondertainment. Dr. Wondertainment is basically Willy Wonka if he made SCPs instead of candy, except with significantly more lawsuits and child casualties. You see, Dr. Wondertainment makes really cute toys for children. They're cursed, reality-bending, and occasionally lethal. But honestly, who cares when the branding is this adorable? Here's the thing, though. Nobody actually knows who or what Wondertainment is. All we know is that he, they, it, or whatever its pronouns are, has a deeply concerning interest in childhood development, and that they've been pooping out anomalous products since the 1800s. Their creations include the Little Misters, which is a collectible set of anomalous dudes that includes Mr. Headless, Mr. Fish, and Mr. Soap. Mr. Soap turns everything into a kid's show, but also kills you if you watch for too long, which makes absolutely no sense, by the way. But that's not all, because they even made special Halloween masks for anomalous children so the ugly kids wouldn't feel left out during trick-or-treating, which is heartwarming in a deeply unethical kind of way. Every single product has that cheerful Dr. Wondertainment TM logo slapped on it like they're proud of the chaos, and they'll actually threaten to sue other groups if anyone tries copying their style. Anomalous trademark law is apparently a thing, and they take it really, really seriously. All in all, their goal is to spread wonder and fun to the world. The consequences, though, completely optional. Survival chance 35%. Higher if you were never allowed toys as a child. Lower if you see their logo and think, "Aw, cute." The Serpent's Hand. Remember the GOC? You know, those dudes who see an anomaly and immediately nuke it on sight? Well, the Serpent's Hand is the exact opposite. They see an anomaly and go, "Aw, let's set it free," then act shocked when it kills someone. The Hand believes anomalies deserve rights and freedom, arguing that the Foundation and GOC have their hands tied by outdated policies. So, naturally, they decided to take matters into their own hands. Literally. They feel humanity deserves the truth about anomalies. So it's not shocking they're trying to spread as much knowledge about it as possible. Their home base is the Wanderer's Library, an infinite interdimensional library containing all knowledge across all realities, accessed through hidden portals called ways. Librarians staff the place and will turn you into a book if you cause trouble. I'm serious. When the Foundation and GOC, who the Hand calls the Jailers and the Book Burners, tried to raid it once, they got absolutely bodied and are now permanently banned. Anyway, you'd think with all that knowledge they'd have a great hierarchy system, but that's not the case, like, at all. Instead, it's a decentralized mess of independent cells who can't agree on anything except locking up anomalies is bad. So now, they do the most logical stuff like raiding Foundation sites, freeing dangerous entities, and generally making themselves a massive pain. Hands down, they mean well, but the execution is questionable at best. Survival chance, 70%. Higher if you're an anomaly. Lower if you're standing near one they just freed. So yeah, those are the groups making the Foundation's life a living hell. Which one would you join? Drop it in the comments, and hit subscribe if you survived this video.